Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to show you a couple of teams you can use for this faction assault in the Warrens. The first team would be a really fast, really easy team to use for just waltzing through those early stages, and the second team a really powerful one for dealing even with those level 500 delves in the Warrens. With the greatest of ease, it'll be an absolute doddle. Anyway, on to the shop. Tier 1, you can grab that if you like. You get the Potion of Enchantment, more gold, more shards, more faction assaults. Really good. Do bear in mind that if you have your horde level in the Warrens on level 100 at least, then you will have a Potion of Enchantment stored, so no need to buy it. But if you are going to buy extra tiers anyway, and you kind of want to because you're going to want to go up to tier 4 if you can, then obviously you have to buy tier 1 as you go along. But at tier 3, you get this troop here, Lapina Healer. She's actually pretty good. Gives a magic +1 life to all allies and grants them a random status effect. Pretty handy indeed. Also starts battles with 50% mana. And tier 4 as a really nice weapon, the Garland Staff. Deals scatter damage to all enemies, then grants them 1 to 2 status effects to all allies, which is pretty cool. I like that. But some of the best things about this weapon are in its upgrades. Tangling, it entangles an enemy when you cast this. Also enchants itself, so as soon as you cast it, it's ready to do it again by enchanting itself. It's a really good weapon. I do like it a lot. Anyway, onto the first team itself. Locked the team in because I've done the first battle. The top route is technically ever so slightly easier. It's still 5 battles to get to the end, but you fight a level 4 battle, a level 5 battle, and a level 2 battle. On the lower route, you fight a 4, 5, and a 3, so it is technically a little bit easier, but I want to go on the bottom route because I'm hard. Right, anyway, this team super easy to use. We've got 3 different troops here that do a lot of damage to all. There are other options. Just if you don't have one of these, just take a look at damage to all and pop one of those in there. It is better though with these two because they are both wild folk, and as such they get a 50% mana start from King Silenus. So in Bard class, that's the Wild Folk class, all our team gets a 50% mana start. Starflower deals damage to all enemies boosted by ally and enemy Fae. Summons a random Fae, which can be handy in a delve, because if you lose a troop, it is nice to have a backup. And there's a 20% chance to transform a random enemy to a pixie. Also, that third trait is really cool. 50% chance to fairy fire a random enemy at the start of my turn. That means when we fairy fire the enemies, they're going to receive 50% extra incoming damage from spells. So when we do our damage to all from any of our troops, that is going to be extra damage. Luna deals damage to all enemies, then either inflicts 1 to 2 status effects on an enemy or gives all the allies 1 to 2 status effects. And again, a really useful third trait. Explode a random gem when matching yellow gems helps our mana generation for the whole team. In top slot, just pop in your favourite damage to all weapon. I like Black Manacles because it doesn't mana block these too bad. Mana blocks Starflower a little bit, but not much. Fire and Ice, I think, uses red and blue. It should do, considering it's fire and ice. It better use red and blue, that would make sense. And it doesn't mana block anybody out of the first 3, which are our main damage dealers. King Silenus can be used just as an extra bit of damage, but it's the top 3 which are going to be the main bulk of the damage. And the bonus of Black Manacles is, of course, it has a 20% chance to devour a random enemy. I'm going to go for Bard class in this to make sure we get that 50% mana start, but it's not essential. You can get a 50% mana start from other classes. Archer class does it, Geomancer does it, and so do others. So you're not actually tied to Bard class if you want that 50% mana start. But it works well with the champion talents. Serendipity, give a random ally a random status effect. Resplendence, gain 2 magic if using jewellery, which we are with the Black Manacles. Anti-magic sphere, reduce damage from spells by 20%. Tactician, gain 3 magic at the start of battle, really handy, extra damage. Mentor, all allies gain 1 magic, really good. Arcane Surge, gain bonus purple from purple gem matches. And Mystic Channel, all mystics gain 2 magic and life when an enemy dies. So really cool stuff on that. I do like that a lot. I'll start the battle now and show the banner as we start, because I have done the first battle to lock the team in. Because sometimes you go back to it and it sort of disappears, and it's like then you have to make the team again, and it's like, what the heck? So the banner I went for this was the one that is +2 yellow, +1 green, -1 blue. Just put in minus blue on the banner thing to find that quickly and easily. Right, so we'll just get the team charged up really quick, do some damage to wall, take them out of it really fast. Luna on my team happens to be giving the most damage, so I'm looking for yellow first. Even does more than my hero, I believe. 61 against 59, yeah. The amount of times an enemy just lays lingering behind on one bit of life, like a mouldy cabbage, is like, yeah, it happens a lot. So the extra 2 bit of damage certainly does come in handy. But yeah, you've got 3 lots of this damage, so whatever your magic level, it will vary upon how far you can go with this team on a single cast to wipe everybody out. Like here we can get charged without really doing anything. Yeah. Ooh, we're going to have to do a bit more damage, but this is where we can bring in something like King Selenus. Submerged enemies dodge damage to walls. That is where King Selenus comes in handy. You can go around doing the other rooms at this point if you want to build up the room treasure multiplier. For the sake of the video, I am going to not bother with that. I didn't have to do anything. Just got charged up straight away and done. So I'm only casting 1 troop at the moment. Obviously you can still cast the other 2 because they'll get charged really fast. Double effect of the 50% mana start and that potion of enchantment. So really good, easy team for just going through those early levels. Now for the second team, I'll show you a team you can use to do this delve on the hardest level possible, level 500. And it'll still be an absolute walk in the park if you use it correctly. What we're going to do is have Mang 2 times Chalcedony and the world. You don't have to have that particular one. I'll show you a different tarot card troop you can use instead of that one if you don't have the world. But Mang is important to this. It eliminates all armor from an enemy, then deals magic based damage, then gain attack equal to the armor eliminated. Because the armor on the enemy is so high on these levels, you just boost your attack so high really quickly. Even if you're a newer player to the game, you can have 1,000 attack with this team really quickly, and it's dead easy to use as well. If you don't have Mang, you can swap it out for Earth's Fury, but Earth's Fury is not as good for these high level delves because you don't get as much benefit from it. It still does strip away all the armor from one opponent and basically boost up your attack, but the buff isn't as high. It does buff up everybody, but that's only going to be a benefit if you lose troops, and in delves you don't want to lose troops. The whole point is not to be losing troops in delves. That's why Mang is actually better, and combined with what the world does, it makes surviving much easier with this team, because the world, what she does, fully heals an ally. So as soon as you get low, you can just chuck it on your troop if they're getting a bit low on health and buff them up to full health again. Really cool. Don't really care about the extra turn. It's all about getting that full health again. And that is there because it also grants a random status effect to a random ally when an ally casts a spell. And this is a looping team. We're going to loop this with a Chalcedony, take skull hits when they come along, and do massive damage with Mang. Because a Chalcedony deals damage to an enemy, then creates 3 brown gems boosted by all constructs. Don't really care about the traits. It's all about that looping element and the damage when we need it. Right, so if you don't have the world, and it really is a handy troop for this, particularly because of that granting a random status effect to a random ally when we cast a spell, but also that full heal. What you can do is search by constructs. It is very important to have constructs in this team to keep Chalcedony creating as many brown as possible. And there are other options that do a similar kind of thing. The sun is not bad. It gives life to all allies. And it does that good tarot at the same time, which is identical. Star does a similar sort of thing, gives a magic buff, but yeah, we don't really care about that too much. We're already going to be powerful enough as it is, but there's a couple of extra choices there if you don't have the world. If you don't have them, I'll construct what she does. The chariot. Armor to all allies. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, many different options. Right, but the banner for this is going to be the bear banner. +2 brown, +1 red, -1 purple. Really important that we get our Mang up as fast as possible. And Geomancer class for this. Superb class. Reduce damage from skulls by 50%. All constructs start with 50% mana. That's the whole team. And we'll go for Impact. Don't think that one's relevant. Anti-Magic Sphere. Tactician. Rock Solid. Gain a barrier when matching brown gems. We're going to be matching brown all the time, so we are just going to have a non-stop barrier here. Tree of Knowledge and a Fortitude. Right, so let's show how this works. Really is straightforward. Just got to be careful of this trickster guy. Really annoying if he spins the team around, and that's what he does. Explodes green gems and switch the first and last enemies. Little tip here: if he does do it early, let him do it again. Because basically, he'll just switch you back to where you were, which is how you want it to be in the first place. Anyway, we'll grab these matches anyway. You can activate Mang absolutely straight away. Carbouche. I'm going to put it on him because I want to get rid of him because he's annoying. Then, if you want now, on a troop like this, it's slightly slower, but it's safer. Most of the time, you are going to loop with Chalcedony. We didn't get too much there on that one, but we'll take away that armor as well. There you go, look, we've already got 584 armor already. We'll grab some of this. Let's leap with the second Chalcedony if we can. There we go, that massive attack has just wiped them out straight away. If you get any nice skull hits, it's going to be absolutely devastating to your opposition. Look, absolutely hideous for them. They're not happy one bit. And if you want, you can just loop with Chalcedony. Take any skull hits that come along. Could have gone Mang earlier. Just for good measure, give them a nice wallop. And remember, we're getting barrier all the time. When we get brown, you can actually leave the enemy a skull hit. Because it's not going to make any difference. It's going to take your barrier away. You just recast a Chalcedony, get a barrier again, and yeah, just keep it going. It's dead easy. Right, so we're looking for our Chalcedony or Mang. Not got much in the way of brown or red, so we'll grab some of that and give them a lucky skull hit. It will show how we can survive even when that happens. You don't want them to let them get too many hits, but this is bound to mess up that skull hit at the top. And we've got a barrier back again. You can now cast Mang. Which we cast it on. Even though he's got less armor, he's got 50% armor reduction, so it is good to get him out of the way. Good thing about having two Chalcedonies is if one doesn't charge, then the other one's bound to have charged. So you can do it that way. You can grab this if you like. Let's get him out of the way because he's a bit annoying. Now I'm going to cast my, even though we've got some loop potential still here, I do like to cast my Mang a couple of times. Let's get that cockatrice thing wallop there. We had a barrier, so we've not taken any damage. Take a look out for any skull hits. They're going to be devastating. We've got 624 attack now. Let's speed things up with a Chalcedony by giving these a wallop. There you go. Look, that first Chalcedony didn't get charged then, but the next one down did, and it's happy days. 922 attack we had then. Absolute walk in the park with this team. Murky deep. Always get brown if you can at the start. Important to get a barrier. It doesn't matter if the enemy gets left a skull hit like that. All it's going to do is take away your barrier, but because we've got impact, it then takes away their traits. So it has a really cool effect. Like this one here, reduce damage from skulls by 50% and immune to devour. As soon as it hits me with that, it's going to lose those traits. So I'm going to wallop him with that anyway. There you go, he's now stunned. He actually done himself no favours whatsoever. He's his own worst enemy. I got told that to me once at school. I was apparently my own worst enemy. Kind of knew what he meant at the time. No now, but when you're about like 11, it makes no sense. It's like, what on earth are you on about? You're making no sense, Gov. Was what I was thinking at the time. Just take away all these dudes' armour. Got 1,000 attack now. Any skull hits. Hasta la vista for the enemy. 767 damage. Wallop. And this will still work, even if you're a newer player, remember. Because the enemy's attack is the enemy's attack. Or armour, rather. And the armour goes onto your attack. Now we just wait for any lucky skull hits. If not, we'll just keep bashing them. Because Chalcedony loops for fun. There you go. Kaboosh. I mean, not only have I never lost with this team doing this sort of thing in these delves, but I've come literally nowhere near it. Like, not even close. Even on these levels. Because unless the enemy gets some outrageous amount of luck on multiple skull hits at the beginning, then you just can't really die. Because you just got a barrier just all the time. I love this team. Let's do some crazy looping with Chalcedony. There you go. There's a lovely skull hit. Not enough to kill it because we haven't boosted our Mang up any further yet, but we'll do so now. We'll chuck it on them there. Let's do a bit of loopity with Chalcedony. 219. You are dead, mate. Got a barrier. That didn't hurt. As soon as we cast this, we get a barrier back. Just be aware of anything that does devour or anything like that. You want to target them first. I know my troops fairly well, so I know there's nothing too damaging here. But be wary of anything that does devour. That is the only thing that this kind of team may be weak to. And the last one. No losses. Not even close to it. Let's cast this. Get rid of matey boy there because he's annoying. Don't want him switching the team around. But like I said at the beginning, if he does get to cast, in an ideal world, you kind of let him cast again because then he switches you back. Switch the first and last enemies. You do it once, they're reversed, let him do it again, it puts you back to where you were. You can just loop on him if you don't want him to cast. There's a very high chance he's going to loop. I'll just take that skull back now just to get him out of the way. Enemy's not going to really do anything to me. We'll take 500 odd armor. Boost it into attack. Thank you very much. What we got going now? I haven't even had to use this. Fully heal an ally. Nowhere near it. It's just there as a backup reserve, basically. Just in case. Just in case we need that, because we've got a barrier every single turn. Gone above and beyond 1,000 attack now. Obviously it's unneeded. We're just going to wait for some skull hits now. You can obviously use Mang to just take out the armor on the last troop. And now you can just look out the window, loop with Chalcedony. Any skull hits that come along, we'll obviously take them. See you later. Just let your mind wander. Bit of meditation going on. Level 500 delve. Easiest thing in the world. Kaboosh. Well, there it is. There's two really cool teams for use on the Warrens. First team for those early stages. This team for these later ones. And it's an absolute walk in the park. There's a video. If you enjoyed it or found it useful, it'd be really cool if you hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.